I honestly hope this video comes out as well as I want it to, but hey, whatever. Today we're talking about the butterfly arc in Jagaaan. Now, I talk about Jagaaan a lot, but I've never actually mentioned the butterfly arc. It wasn't until my reread that I really wanted to make this video. I realized that the butterfly arc is definitely up there with the Deaderland arc, and I think really portrays the cruel world that is Jagaans. Now, I have the Deaderland arc somewhere near the Chimera arc. Not there, but somewhere close to there. This arc is definitely up there with it. I should probably start talking about it now. The butterfly arc starts with our two new protagonists, Omoichi and Kemu. We'll get into their backstories later. As you can guess, these two are definitely the highlight of this arc. We meet a guy who comes back to his house to meet his wife. And after a while, Omoichi and Kemu show up at the door, tending to be the man's neighbor. They give him a quote-unquote greeting gift. Gift are mud balls, which will be handy later. But we also found out that they all went to the same middle school. Then the pair basically storm into his house. Kemu pretends that he needs to use the bathroom so Omoichi can come into the house. And then they begin to slaughter the two. Kemu pours boiling water on his wife. Omoichi is throwing the mud balls at him. But the mud balls have golf balls inside them, which obviously makes them hurt. They do this for a bit until Omoichi stuffs a mud ball inside of him. Not him, but his mouth. And this is where we find out that they've become half-fractured humans. Omoichi spits on the guy, and his face basically melts. And then Kemu can turn his hair into something as sharp as knives. That's just an estimation though, because it doesn't really say it. But he uses it to murder his wife. Another minor thing, Jagaaan also gets a new form during this time called a atomic reactor. He gets it while he trains with Mika. Wasn't really important, but I'm pretty sure it'll come up later. And then we end up seeing the final product of the murder, and it's horrible. It's very, very bad. But later you'll feel like they should have done it. You'll see why. The very next chapter, we see Jagaaan meet them. Now let me ask you this question. Is revenge right or wrong? Now there's plenty of answers for that, but is it right or wrong to go as far as Omoichi and Kemu did? Revenge is defined as inflict harm on someone for something they did to someone else. Now depending on who that is, there's plenty of answers. If someone bullies you, is it okay to kill them? But this wasn't minor bullying, this was extreme bullying. Mental, physical, everything you can think of, these people probably went through it. And you would obviously feel bad for these two. But is it still okay to kill someone? I don't know, and you probably don't either. All about perspective. During this meeting with Jagaaan and the duo, Omoichi says something. All the dead guys, all the people that bullied us in middle school deserve to die. And there's no need to cry about them. End quote. Now, you might say they're taking it a little too far. But for their perspective, they're doing the right thing. Jigasaki eventually finds curry on the feet of Kemu, because obviously he poured curry on the guy's wife. So Jigasaki busts them way earlier than expected, Kemu said, and they start to fight. Omoichi generally believes that he's doing what he needs to do. He believes that what he's doing is justice and is righteous, and it makes his character all the more interesting. He's definitely one of my favorite characters in Jagaaan, and one of the best side characters of all time. And he was only around for about 10 chapters. 10 to 15, I don't exactly remember. During the confrontation between Jigasaki and the duo, Omoichi says something that really made me think different. He tells Jigasaki not to get in the way of their justice. Now I have to define another word. Justice is defined as a just action or behavior. And once again, this is all perspective. Justice can mean anything to anybody. But to you, is what Ichi and Kemu doing right? Would love to hear what you would think. I honestly don't know. But anyway, back to the story. After this, Jigasaki and Mika have to go to a guy named Bandu, who's the main guy that bullied the two. And this guy is annoying off the bat. You want him to be killed. Like once you understand his character, you want him to be killed. But Jigasaki, having the hero complex he has, thinks Bandu is just a, how do I say this, misunderstood person and still needs a life, yeah. Which is completely wrong, but I mean, whatever. And then we get into their backstory. Back in middle school, Kemu was getting bullied heavily by Bandu and his gang or whatever. Bandu and his friends are the ones that the two would later kill. But yes, back to the backstory. And one day after he got bullied, he met Omoichi. After a talk, they walk home. And it's on that walk home that Omoichi tells Kemu that he wants to be a butterfly researcher. Now, a butterfly researcher is the most random job. I had to Google it to make sure it was actually a real thing. It just seemed random to me. It's also on this walk where we find out why Kemu's being bullied. Kemu's birth father is abusive and his mom was used by other men, so there's no love at home. We also found out that the teachers don't help because other parents accused him of having favoritism towards Kimu. Then one day, Umuichi told Kimu to stand up for himself. So Kimu, while getting bullied, was recording what Bandu and his gang was saying. Also, around this time, Kimu told the teachers, but they just wouldn't help. School system broke, even in Jagaaan. Yeah, basically, Kimu was recording him getting bullied. Then one day, he played it in front of the whole class. Bandu and his boys got a 10-day suspension. Actually, I don't think they specify how long the suspension was, but yeah, they got in big trouble, basically. Then after a beautiful moment between Umuchi and Kimu, the worst happens. Bandu is a horrible person. While Umuchi is in the car with his mom gets a call. That call is from the Bupa City Police, telling her that her husband is in jail, which is Umuchi's dad. You must be thinking, why is he in jail? Because of a fake molesting accusation from Bandu. Now obviously it wasn't Bandu himself saying this, but he made someone else say it. And in that same car ride, Bandu throws a golf ball in the window, causing them to crash. And the outcome of this crash is probably what you're thinking. His mom ended up being paralyzed, and had a few screws loose. You can see why I hated Bandu. You can, right? Exactly, good. After this, Kimu comes to Imuchi's house, and then Imuchi tells him that they can't be friends anymore. A couple years later, Imuchi meets Shiharu. Shiharu gives him his powers, and he meets up with Kimu. And they share a beautiful moment. I think their conclusion is amazing as well. It's not on the same tier of Pino's, but it's good. I wanted to make this video so people don't think of the butterfly arc as the arc that's right before Deaderland, you know what I mean? In my opinion, I think this arc is something to value. It's really, really good. Also a reminder for you to read Jagaaan. Yeah, back to the story. The pair eventually meet Bandu, but Mika and Jigasaki are there to protect him. They end up getting defeated where Umuichi and Jigasaki have a beautiful conversation. Umuichi asks Jigasaki why is it okay to kill fractured humans. He asks Jigasaki if that's his justice to kill fractured humans. The highlight of the conversation was when Umuichi asked Jigasaki what's the difference between them, which makes a lot of sense because both of them are fighting for something that happened to them. But yes, please read Jagaaan. I'll for real do anything. Jagaaan is amazing. I've made a whole video on it, so you can go watch that. But yes, Discord in description.